Oh, that's why did it take me to silver?
What?
Okay.
That's funny.
Oh, can I do it from here? Resubscribe.
Oh,
Where's
so
my
we're
use
still
my
just as
Prime?
late as before. I didn't think that would fix it. That's all right though.
Subscribe to Prime. All right, now I've resubscribed to you.
Nice. Well, there's no alerts or anything, but yay!
Here, resubscribe.
Hooray! He
Use
hath
my Prime.
subscribed.
I am a little delayed by about 3 or 4 seconds. So I was waiting for the hooray to watch because I have it on mute. Um, so yeah.
Hooray! He hath subscribed.
Why are I still having I am a little delayed by about
Uh,
3 or 4 seconds. So I was waiting for the hooray to watch because I have it on mute. Um, there is my hand. 1, 2,
okay.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 second delay.
Sounds about right.
There is my hand.
Actually, it doesn't sound as
1,
bad as it used to be, frankly.
3, 4,
If I
5,
mean, honestly.
6, 7, 8. 8 second delay. Who that? Who there?
Actually, it doesn't sound as bad as it used to be. Alright, you got me muted now. If I mean,
Have you muted?
no, that's me. Okay. I was making sure you had. I could hear it in the background. It was me.
Oh, okay.
I didn't realize I
Who
didn't have
that?
that
Who there?
website muted. Okay.
Have you muted?
DJ Hedgehog, what's up, man? There's somebody that should be a future guest on here as well. What's up, DJ? How you doing, brother?
Okay.
He got back on with me last night, man. He played some multiverses with me. It was fucking fun. Got him back in game shape. Didn't take him long. 3 or 4 matches. He was rolling good. Hedgehog, what's up, man? I can still hear myself.
Nice.
There should be a future guest on here.
So,
Is that you listening to me? DJ?
oh, okay. I just have you here. That's it.
Oh, I know what I did.
And Twitch is muted, so I don't know how you would hear yourself twice.
Got it. I see what I did. Very good. I got a lot of things going at
Ah,
once.
now the chat shows up here too for me.
First time we have
okay.
fully multi-streamed like this. Yeah, so the Twitch chat will show up there. The Twitter chat still shows up just on Twitter, YouTube. Yeah. Shit, bro, man. What's up, buddy? Busy with work things as usual.
Heard that.
Tired? Yeah. Heard that, brother. Well, thanks for hanging out.
There every day.
We're taking a couple gummies.
Ooh, I just had mine.
There you go. Knockers. Breast
Yeah, you
cancer
in that
awareness.
video.
Yeah, man. $2 for every bag goes to breast cancer awareness. Gotta love it. All right.
Here's texting my sis too.
Heard. Yeah, I don't notify a bunch of people about this shit here anymore. We do.
I
what
just
we
do too.
We do what we do. And then we put it on Spotify so they can check it out when they get a chance. All right, so let me make sure I have you all set. Got your quotes, dad jokes, all of it all set. Motherfucker. Yeah, good. Russ has a lot of reverb.
What?
He says you.
What's
have a
wrong
lot
with me?
of reverb.
Huh?
Like he's too loud.
I mean, should I move the microphone away or?
What's that?
Oh, all right. Okay, well, let's go.
How's that, DJ? Is that any better?
DJ, do I sound all right?
I think that is better, actually. Sounds better on my end, anyway. Heard. So you gotta wait the 8-second delay.
Littering and.
You're right. All right. Well, he said better. Good deal. Cheers, sir. To another episode.
Been a little while since we did a little cheers, but we're good.
You got your notes, quotes, all that. You
got
good to
my
go?
quotes, yes sir.
All right, man. We'll go ahead and shit. You know what? Let's do this. All right, we'll do it a little different. All right.
You're changing it.
Right, yeah, always, baby, always. And this is mainly for the Spotify audience too. I would say that we're doing this part, everything. But when we normally, this is where you would load in and see us babbling and talking about randomness, and something funny would happen before the intro music kicks in and we start up the show. Don't have one for you this week, it being our anniversary episode. We have been doing this for a full year. We just wanted to take this opportunity to thank those of you that have been with us the whole time on the ride, and to welcome in those of you that have joined late or just joining now. We appreciate you. We love you. We thank you for all the support. We've been played almost 1,000 times. The fact that people have listened to us 1,000 times and are still listening.
There's something wrong with you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what we've got going on, but apparently it's working. So we appreciate you. So we just wanted to say thank you for all that. And
thank you.
We look forward to
greatly
another year
appreciate
it. Getting back with the consistency and all that and everything, but we'll get into all that. So enough with the mushy stuff. Let's start the show.
Ah, shit. Here we go again.
Man, we are in the infant stages, but we are officially a 1-year-old. How about it? They did not shut us down right away. We have yet to be banned on any social medias.
Yet.
So we are just skating under the fucking radar, apparently, because goddamn.
The fuck 'em radar.
We've done some shit in the year. The fucking radar. I like it. I like it. Welcome in, folks, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of, well, certain ages.
Say middle age?
Aha. See what I did there? Another episode of Middle-Aged Highs back in your ears, in your eyes. Feast your eyes. Coming at you, baby. As always, my name is Dan, Pastor Prime on Twitch, Pastor Prime 25 on Twitter, Middle-Aged Highs on TikTok. The man to your right, my left, a man who at this point should own stock in Captain Morgan, for God's sake.
Oh.
Russ, the Beer League goalie on Instagram.
Oh.
You like that one, sir?
You ain't wrong there. You ain't wrong. I mean, he ain't lying. He ain't lying. Between that and Yingling Lager, yeah, either one of those would probably set me up for life. But I don't know if it set me up for life because I'd be buying back the same thing I invested. I don't know.
Yeah, I've been holding on to that one in the pocket for a little while because I knew how much you would appreciate that one.
That's a good one.
So in the spirit of being a year on our podcast, and not to cut the flow of anything, I'm very proud of myself that we've now had a full year, and I am still coming up with new ways to introduce you every single episode.
How about now? We didn't start that on the very first one.
We did not.
Do you even know what episode we started that on?
I don't. I would have to go back and do extensive research. I mean, I don't know how extensive it is to listen to the first 30 seconds to a minute of every podcast, but
Yeah. Still time taken.
It is still time taken, and with babies and kids, we don't have a lot of that free. Folks.
Zilch.
We just don't.
Yeah.
But we have this time here set aside for podcasting, so that's what we're gonna do. We got a good one for you too, folks. Now, we know it's been a minute. We've had a lot of baby issues, technical issues. More technical issues for a couple weeks, and then baby issues lately. I just plumb fell asleep last week.
He's not lying. I was sitting here waiting for him. I probably sat here for about a good hour, and all of a sudden I get a text. He goes, "Nobody woke me up."
Yeah, it was a little bit of a ranting text. I'm not gonna lie. We were supposed to get out here at 8:30 and start at 8:30. I woke up in the bed with Addison around, and I'm waking up and I'm checking everything, and I text my wife Shanice. They looked down the phone. I'm like, it's already 9 o'clock. I'm like, motherfuck. I'm like, oh my god.
Oh no, it was later. It was later.
Oh no, it was 9 o'clock when I finally woke up.
Uh-huh.
And then I came out here and I'm like, all right, get the dogs and this, and then I started looking around. And I'm like, all right, I gotta set up the banner. I gotta turn this on. I gotta get the lights. I gotta get a drink. I gotta go smoke. I gotta pack the bong. I gotta do this. And I'm like, I just sat here and I went, I'm
not
feeling
it.
I just did not have it in me. I would have been one grouchy, crotchety motherfucker if I would have
Oh,
been
so
here.
what's the difference?
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. That being said, we're hoping to get back into the flow, but we're going to go over a lot of things this episode from the past year. I did not get a chance to clip things like I really, really, truly wanted to because, again, kids, baby, this, that, the other, don't have as much free time as I would like, but we're going to reminisce about a lot of the stuff that we've done over the past year, point you in some directions if you got some free time to check out some past episodes and some things that might be entertaining for you, and actually we will tell you some things that you might want to avoid as well, because we've had some gems and we've had some duds. But we're going to cover all facets of that. We're also going to get into what's going on in the sports world, because we're back at the beginning, which means we're talking about my Mavs and his Flyers.
Bad timing.
Well, hey, sorry. Hey, say let me. You know
It's
what?
all right.
It was bad timing for the Phillies. It's bad timing for the Flyers. It's not great to be Philadelphia right now. Sorry.
No, and to be fair, yeah, it's the truth. I mean, if you want to take a look at it, there's a lot of memes going around for the past 3-4 years of all the
I've seen
Philadelphia
it.
fails.
I sent you one.
And well, yeah, I've gotten a few. You're not alone.
I'm sure.
Yeah, there's a few out there, and as I've always said, as from a Philadelphia fan perspective, we look into the jaws of victory and pull out defeat. We're good at that.
Hey, you're talking to a lifelong Cubs fan.
Yes.
I understand your pain, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But
yes.
I digress. Mavs Flyers going to be on the docket. We're also doing the Fuck 'em Challenge as always, and he has picked Denzel Washington from 95 to 05, which is super random, but okay.
I
went with it.
literally had no intent on any movie whatsoever. I just picked a different time period than we
Yep.
picked before. That's all.
Let's be honest. A lot of the things we do are random.
Yes.
So
Very much so.
it's just part of who we are and part of how we live our life. I mean, it's how I live my life. I don't shit. What's my game plan when I get up? I'll let you know.
And I'll let you know at the end of the day if I did set game plan that I didn't have in the morning.
I start my day off the same way I tweeted this morning with great bong rips come great ideas.
There you go.
So
Love it.
I digress. Before we get into anything like that, we do have to get to our usual segment, which means that my friend here has to bring up whatever's on his mind in your favorite segment, Russ Rants.
As I get into that, I have a tiny small rant before that. So, for those of you who don't know, obviously we haven't been here in a few weeks.
Sure, about a month.
Russ has reached a new decade.
Happy birthday, you 40-year-old fucker. Welcome to actual middle age now.
Yep. I'm now officially part of being middle-aged. So I hit that new decade, and I've already been feeling like that for years, but that's another story for another time.
Right.
So, minor rant there. Anywho, so my main rant for the evening. I know you're not a big advocate as far as utilizing your time to go play sports these days, unless it's with your children. Correct?
Sure. Absolutely.
All right. Obviously, I am the beer league goalie, and on a weekly basis, I play in a beer league. Go figure. My biggest pet peeve these days with playing in beer leagues is jackasses who take it too seriously. Like, I get being competitive. You and I are competitive. Video games, sports in general. We love being competitive.
Absolutely.
I'm all for the competitive nature of
I
things.
live for competition. I mean, on a personal
100%.
level.
Sorry, there's flying around.
Side note, as long as you get a fly flying around and we stop the flow, back in the top 100 was Taz. Get at me, Multiverses.
Ooh. You can gloat another time there, sir. That's worth a gloat. But anywho.
I already did. Continues.
But, dude, I can't tell you, and especially because, as you know, last year I was working 3 jobs, one of them being a scorekeeper at my rink as my 3rd job.
Yes, sir.
And the things that I've seen out of people, I'm just like, I can't fathom how you get to certain levels when you play in a beer league.
Right.
Maybe when you're 25 and under, sure, you're a little immaturity, whatever, fine. I would get that. But when you're in your 30s and 40s and you come out here thinking that you're the next best thing of anything, I'm sorry, you've missed everything.
Yeah, you are, as we say, past your prime.
Oh, come on. So, And the reason I started in on this rant was it was last week. We played a team at the end of our season, so we're actually in the playoffs now. And one of the more I don't know if I call them gentle, non-combative players on my team received a cross check in the back in the first 2 minutes of the game.
In the
Literally
back?
nothing had taken place. This guy defends his cross check and then continues to go down this path and this war path of how serious that he wanted to take the game that evening. And for whatever reason, that sparked my competitive nature even further.
Sure.
That I was one of the best performances of my season last week, to the point that both the team we faced and my team that I played for went, we don't win that game without you.
Right.
I was making diving saves with my glove, like on my
Adrenaline took
stomach,
over.
glove in the air, all
Right.
that kind of crap. Like, I just don't understand how some of these dudes just go around swinging their sticks, cross-checking people. Like, dude, if you were good enough, you'd have been on the TV behind me.
You're right.
You pay to play. You don't get paid to play. There's a big fucking difference. Get your shit together as a middle-aged individual.
Heard that. Heard that. And now, to be fair, on my end, there's a level of that I never did get to experience because, for those that don't know, because, yeah, once again, we always have new audiences every time. Captain Dabu, what's up, man? That's a homie right there. 420 friendly streamer. Go check him out, man. But for those that don't know, he's talking about playing, rec league sports, and if you don't follow him, he is the beer league goalie on Instagram. He's been playing rec league, beer league hockey as a goalie for, I don't know, as long as I've
15
known
years
him,
or so.
2-3 days a week.
Yep.
I didn't do a whole lot of that because, as you know, I had the car accident, obviously, back in 2012, put me out of work for a year and a half. So, I throw up, I have a hoop out back, I throw up a half dozen to 10 shots a day, honestly, when I'm taking the dogs out.
Yeah.
That's
Just
about the
basketball
extent
sitting
of it
there,
for me.
just, whatever.
Yeah, man, just take a couple shots, see if I'm feeling it for the day, whatever. But, I don't get to do a whole lot of that. So I can't relate to you on that level of it. But something I can relate to you on as far as taking sports too seriously that you're going to encounter very soon is your kids are getting ready to get into it, sir.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting ready to experience the overbearing Karens and parents of the world.
Oh, that'll be a Russ rant for another night.
Coach
Trust
dads.
me.
Yeah, well, I've gone through that. I vividly remember Danny at a wrestling event. My oldest son, who wrestled for 2 years before he had to have foot surgery, and that's a story for another day. There was one that, she went off when her kid was playing, just yelling at him, and it's like, you don't say anything because it's not your place, but it's like, that's too much, whatever. But then when his match was over and my son's out there, she's still yelling at him, and I had to stop and say, hey, can you shut the fuck up? Because I'm trying to record my kid, and I don't want to hear you yelling at your kid in my recording.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which led to me getting yelled at, which actually didn't go very well because about 8 other parents were on my side at that point.
Nice.
Well, it's, you know how it is. Everybody sees
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Nobody wants to say anything.
No.
So at least when I did, everybody else was like, shut up, get out of here. And she ends up she's, oh, let's get out of here. Then she goes to leave. And then I'm not trying to
Stand
judge.
up and clap.
I'm not trying to judge, and I'm not trying to stereotype, and I'm not trying to say whatever, but she goes to leave, and then you realize that, damn, all 7 of those kids are yours? You're a certain type.
Mhm.
You are a certain
So,
type.
to be fair, I have experienced some of that to a point
Sure.
because I did coach my sister in a bunch of stuff. And for those who haven't recognized or heard me say this before, my sister's 7 years younger than I. So when my sister was in her mid-teens, I was in my early 20s. And I was asked to do some coaching by my sister at points in times, and I actually helped her with a lot of different other, drills and what have you. And I coached her in basketball, soccer, and shot put. And I think that's it. She might have to correct me. But
She would if she was here.
yeah. But I dealt with some of that stuff. And I think I handled it pretty well for being in my early 20s. Can you think about your early 20s, your temperament, your growing up, your maturity levels, what have you? Not the greatest in your early 20s, and I think I handled
At
it
all.
fairly well. I really do.
Sure.
To the point where, like, I knew what I was doing.
Right.
I'm very good with managing people and expectations and holding a room. I mean, I'm in sales now, for crying out loud. I watch body language on a daily basis. Um, and I was able to shut some of that stuff down. And what my biggest problem with, I think, what you get into and what you're talking about is most people don't freaking realize or understand coaches and referees are volunteers, and they're putting up with your BS.
Right.
They're not paid. Your kids aren't paid. Sit down, shut the hell up, and let them play and have fun. Because that's what sports is supposed to be. Fun.
Thank you. And yeah, look, I'm all for it. I'm all for competition. I'm all for shit talking about anything. But anything that takes the fun out of it for anybody is too much. It's too much.
No, I mean, I'll sit there and say, come on, ref, that ball looked outside or something like that. But that ball looked outside or something like that. But I'm not going to go ridicule the ump and tell him his wife or his mother this, that, or the other thing. Like, all right,
sure.
Like, chill.
I mean, I've seen things when I was a security guard at the private school that I was out here. Not gonna name names because of what I do and everything like that. Whatever,
Yep,
but it's a very prestigious private school out here. Whatever, they had a big Dr. Pepper basketball event for the traveling basketball teams. I ended up having to break up a fight between a parent and a referee. Poor referees outside smoking. I was like, man, you're not supposed to be doing that. He's like, buddy, I just had a parent punch me in the back of the head. I was like, yeah, I know. It's like, you're good. It's just, you're good. Just if they say anything, I said something to you just because that's my job. You know what I mean? It's like, I get it, and I want to thank you for not starting any bigger of a fight because that's a lot of paperwork for me. So, thank you. Captain Dabu, I am drinking on, don't tell my wife, I'm drinking on her, her
She knows now.
I'm drinking her salted caramel whiskey because it's all that's in the house as far as alcohol. But, hey, it is what it is. Maple, what's up, dude?
To bring that full circle to get to the end of the rant, that crap happens in my beer leagues nonstop as well. Obviously, in ice hockey, fighting is allowed. One of the few sports left where fighting, can be tolerated.
Sure.
However, these jackwagons who think that they're the best thing in beer league hockey, they start fighting themselves from time to time. And I'm just like, why? Y'all got kids? Y'all got jobs? Like, what is this getting you?
You're going to regret this very soon.
Like within 24 hours.
Yeah, it's not going to be. It's not going to be the next morning when you regret this. You are going to regret this when you get home.
Yeah.
Especially those of you that have wives and significant others. You are going to regret this when you get home.
Yes. So to end my little piece here, I ended up taking a picture of some cones outside of the rink with that guy. He played the next game after me, and I had the guy circled next to the cone picture, and I sent it to a bunch of people from the rink. I went, do you notice a difference, or does this look like a family reunion to you?
Damn. That's a little fucked up, sir.
It was great.
That's a little fucked up.
Hey, but you're smiling. You like it.
Well, I'm a little fucked up. I mean, both, on an alcoholic and cannabis level and as far as the way I think and live my life. I'm pretty fucked up. But anyway, welcome into the 10 people that are watching us across all platforms right now. Maple, Dabu, appreciate you guys showing up, supporting, man. Glad to see you guys. Maybe you're still welcome to come on the show and talk hockey sometime with us or baseball.
I'd love it.
Absolutely, man. But we'll get to the sports talk a little bit later. Right now, we're going to reminisce a little bit because, like I said, we've been doing this for a solid year as of 3 days ago. Our very first podcast episode was put out October 20th, 2023.
It's been a year already, to be fair.
It's, time just goes. I had this conversation with a Cosmic Waffle. If he happens to listen, shout out to Cosmic Waffle. Still the best name in the game. Love it. I've been saying that for freaking years, every time he comes in my streams. But as I was this conversation with him the other day, time every year just goes faster and faster and faster and faster. And the only thing that messes with it at all is kids. They make it speed up even more. No matter how many times you have them.
Not a lie.
Like, I'm on my third one, spaced out quite significantly, as you know. And, still speeds up time. Somehow he's 4 months old. Whatever. But, it's crazy. But a full year in doing this, man. So if we had to go through, what would you say is your favorite episode that we've done throughout the year in the 40 episodes that we've put out?
My favorite episode has to be the first one. Sure, it was a shit show.
Oh, man.
Sure, there was a lot of, and still are, a lot of bugs and kinks to work out.
Yeah, that first. Woof.
The fact that we did it after whatever the hell it was, let's just say the better part of 5 years to a decade. Oh, we should do this. We should do that. We should do this. And we never took the step forward and did it.
Right.
So, sure, there may be a lot of funny moments and things, and maybe an episode from a funny standpoint or comedic standpoint that I might like more. But I'm going to go with the first one being my favorite because we actually decided to take a step forward and put our words to the paper in a sense.
Yeah, buddy, we were so ready to jump forward. If you scroll all the way down in your Spotify, go follow us on Spotify if you haven't, please. We'd love to get more followers on there. Middle-aged Ties. Boop, boop, right there. Anyway, if you scroll all the way down, you'll notice that, oddly enough, the logo for the first episode is, I think, the guy from the Fallout video games.
Yes.
Because we didn't even have a logo made or ready.
Nope.
Like, we barely knew what we were naming ourselves at that point. Like, remember the process of coming up with a name? Jesus Christ, we came up with a million things, and there's so many things already taken. It's insane.
How much freaking research I did just trying to find a handle on Instagram and Facebook and all that kind of stuff. Just, no, that's it. No, God.
Yeah.
This variation, put a number in it. No, that doesn't sound right. Yeah.
DJ with the lurk, appreciate you, homie. Thank you for watching the chat and doing the shout-outs, man. Yeah, and it's wild. We're looking at like, nope, that's a podcast. Nope, that's a podcast. Nope, that's a Instagram page. Nope, that one's a band. Remember? I don't remember what it was. Ripping in something. I can't remember. It's like oh, it's a band down in Florida and shit. It's like, well, we definitely can't use that. It's like,
yeah.
Oh man, it's a trip. See, I can't. I get it. I get what you're saying, and I respect where you're coming from, but I cannot say the first episode just because a little behind the scenes, whatever. I do the editing work for us.
Yes, it does.
It's such a terrible sounding episode.
Oh, it is 100%.
I can't vibe with that, man. I just can't.
No, you're good. You're good.
I think episode 2 with an apology for episode 1. You know,
it's more so a nostalgia. I'm glad we started this process and this journey and all that kind of whatever you want to call it. And that's why it becomes my favorite. Now, again, like I said, there may be some episodes that are more educational, comedic, you name it. But the fact that we just decided to do it makes it my favorite.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the bids, Captain Dabu. Don't have any sound alerts on because we're doing the podcast, but I do appreciate you, man. Much love, brother. Much love. So that's yours, and I respect it, but I can't agree with it.
I got you.
But for me, my favorite episode is hands down the one that I can go back and listen to 100 times, and that would be the Snapdragon Cannabis interview.
I figured you'd pick that one, to be honest.
It is, and to be fair, it's our most played episode, which doesn't have any standing on whether or not I would pick it. But that episode, I remember during recording and during editing and then during playback, because I do all of them, doing clips and everything too. I remember all 3 times listening and learning things.
Yep.
If you've not listened to it, Snapdragon Cannabis, the company that I work, Snapdragon Cannabis, Snapdragon Hemp, whatever you want to call it right there. Code's below my man over there. PYP420 gets 15% off and a free 2-pack Delta 9 gummy. Shipped anywhere in the U.S. Captain Dabu, if you order, use the code, brother. Use the code. Tell your friends. It's good shit. Anyway, I wouldn't back it up if it didn't work, and I use it every day. Every day. Yay. Anyway.
The Professor,
Alec Wright from Snapdragon Cannabis, joined us. He's joined us twice, actually.
Mm-hmm.
He will be joining us again, I want to say sometime in January, February. Damn. Okay. Sidetrack on the flow of things here. We're going to have to take a sip for a minute. I got some bad news for you, brother.
Uh-oh.
So, if you go back and listen to the Snapdragon Cannabis episode, one of the big things for us was we gave them the great idea to do an advent calendar this year. The advent calendar is not going to make it this year.
No!
They are doing other things for December this year that they want our help with.
Okay.
they're going to be in contact with us about. But that is probably next year.
Okay. I mean, is
So
it something that we should start putting together ourselves to help out with?
I've offered. Haven't heard back on that, but
Okay. All right.
he's swamped, and I offer to help all the time, but hey, it is what it is. Everybody.
All
Does
right. I'll
what they
just
do.
continue my beer advent calendar. We're good.
Gotta love it. I might make my own advent calendar. Who the fuck knows?
That's what I was saying. Let's just do it. Like,
I mean, shit.
maybe we
It's a
find
thing.
enough people in our listening audience to partake with us, and then we all do the same thing. Well, I mean, I don't smoke, but
We can figure something out though.
an edible advent calendar.
Yeah, right. Different types, different strokes for different
As long as
folks,
I don't
right?
have that brownie again.
All right, so in lieu of that, we're not going to go into least favorite episodes, because I don't want to say I had a least favorite episode, but why did Russ sound weird? Because Russ sounds weird sometimes.
Russ always sounds weird. What's your problem? Where the hell you been?
What's up, lady? Welcome in. You're late. We're docking
You're
your
late.
pay.
Yep.
Anyway,
Go to the
so
principal's office, please.
I'm not going to go into a least favorite episode, because I don't think we had a least favorite episode per se. I mean, they're each our own children, and we love them individually. But anyway, so those are our favorite episodes. What about the best guest? So there's a lot of ways to go on that one, and I could have very easily just said Alec Wright, Snapdragon Cannabis, because he was so good, was my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, you could have just
guest.
repeated yourself.
I could have, but in lieu of that, I went the angle that you went. I think my favorite one was probably Ron, because
I was shocked by that.
well, here's my take on that. He was our very first guest.
Nothing against Ron.
Not hey, everything.
I mean,
against,
everything Ron.
against
Yeah,
Ron.
yeah.
If you watch the stream, you know who Ron is from Watching Us Play Hockey. He's the mascot. He's the guy that
Ron.
everybody wants to lose every year in fantasy football. He's the guy, if you go to TikTok, Middle-Aged Highs, you can watch getting his leg waxed because he lost last year in fantasy football, and we punish the loser every year.
We should also post the wing eating thing for everybody to see too.
I don't have the full video anymore.
I do.
Send it to me.
Yep.
Send it to me. I would love to re-edit it. Thank you.
Yep.
Please. Oh, please.
Write it down so you don't forget.
My brain biscuits are returning. I won't forget that one. That's a good one. We both drank on that one. Shit. Anyway, so Ron was great for several reasons. One, he was very involved when he was on the podcast. He had both, as in typical Ron fashion, he had some really great moments and some really what the fuck is wrong with you moments during his episode. So it was a great representation of Ron. I mean, the fact that he was supposed to be a surprise guest. Russ contacted him, set it up, said, hey, come be our guest on the podcast. Our first guest ever will be a surprise. We'll catch Dan. He won't know about it. It'd be great.
Yep.
He texts Ron that. Ron's response is to call me and says, hey, Ron wants me to be a guest on the podcast. And I was like, oh. Yeah, sure, cool.
Fucking idiot. Between that and screwing up the fuck up challenge.
Man, there's a special shout out that we had to get in here when we're talking about this, man. So we do the fuck 'em challenge every episode, right? And granted, it was our first time with a guest, so we're testing things out and working things out. So if you don't know the fuck 'em challenge, which we'll get into later, we come up with a movie or a TV show genre, and we come up with 3 quotes, shoot them back and forth one at a time, try to challenge each other to see who can win. We let Ron play 2. And we said, all right, if you know, write it down. Don't tell us. Which would imply write it down so that you can show us at the end. Correct? Any reasonable human being would understand that. Ron's response when he thinks he has the answer is to write it down and hold it up to the camera and show us what it is immediately. The first person to ever get disqualified, the first and only person to ever get disqualified from the fucking challenge, my favorite guest, the incomparable Ron Limo guy.
Hey, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed having Ron on and enjoyed those conversations
Sure.
and what have you. I mean, it's great to talk to Ron, and regardless of our liking, hatred, just wow factors when Ron speaks, it is nice to talk to that man every now and again when he decides to show his face. Once every 6 months.
Here's the thing. Again, if you've not followed the podcast, you don't know who Ron is. If you go back and listen through, you'll find out who Ron is. But he's actually a really good friend of ours. We've both known him for a while. He's known him a hell of a lot longer on a
Yes,
personal
sir.
level, too. He's done some things to help me and my family out. He's a really good guy. We love
He's
him
good.
to death, and he talks more shit than anybody, and we give him more shit than anybody. But we love you, buddy.
He talks more shit than a midget should.
I know you listen all the time. So we love you, buddy, but you will never, ever stop getting shit. If we stopped giving Ron shit, he'd be scared. He'd think
Yeah, right.
somebody's wrong.
Hey, I mean, think about it. From your and I perspective, and you and I are the same wavelength with this. If you are not getting shit, you're actually not a friend.
Not with us.
No.
Yeah.
If you're not getting shit, you're actually not accepted.
Yeah. My brother had to explain that to his friend. Quick aside before you go into your favorite guest. My brother streams on Twitch now as well. Nerd Daddies. It's his podcast too. If anybody's looking for another podcast to listen to and you got free time, listen to us first. But then, Nerd Daddies, they're good too. His friend streams multiverses with him. His name is Captain Hemlock, and I go in there. I'm like, hey, it's Captain Hemorrhoid. So my brother had to explain it. That's my brother. It's just da 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 da. So it's just who I am. It's just how we live. It's how we operate, dude. It's how it works.
Joint podcast.
Here. Huh?
Joint podcast.
I don't get
Okay,
along
topic
with
for another
all
day.
of his
Got it.
co-hosts.
Cool. Got it. Anywho,
That's
my favorite.
That's a story for another day for you and the 16 people watching us across all platforms. So thank you
So-
everybody for being here. How we doing today?
My favorite guest, to bring that back around and take away from wherever you were going,
Sure.
was Stan Flea. And it's not so
Caleb.
much the fact of who he is and all that kind of stuff. I felt like he was a good interview. I felt like he had the best. Take away maybe the professor had the most to say and actually fit in with conversation the best out of all of our guests.
I would say
And
the
you got
professor was the most informative all the way throughout.
100%.
Stan Flea was not that Alec wasn't engaged all the way through it. Stan Flea was most engaged all the way throughout, as far as from a joking, bantering back and forth
Yeah.
perspective, because we've been playing games with him for years and we know each other, which we thought would be all of our guests, but that wasn't necessarily the case. But whatever, we'll get to that in a second. But Caleb was very, very good with that. I enjoyed his episode from beginning to end. I was excited to post his
Yeah.
episode when we were
Yeah.
done with it.
I agree. And one of my favorite moments, from that was us talking about being fathers,
Yes.
and Flea and I being girl dads.
Right.
I mean, he's a little further in the process than I am as far as being a girl dad with his daughter. I think she makes 17 yet, 16, 17. Don't quote me.
Sure.
Right around that age.
It's only on
And-
record, but yeah.
Yeah, it's
sure.
okay. I don't give a shit. But she's driving now. She's got a boyfriend.
Right.
So there's a lot of conversations that Sam Flea and I have, and one of my favorite, moments with guests as far as joking is concerned was the little scenario we came up with as far as our own Bad Boys 2 scene with you digging a hole for the next boyfriend, and with the backhoe and everything like that Flea has on his property, and no, hole's not big enough, sir.
Yeah, he wanted to dig a hole, and I said, no, just call me. I'll go up there, and I'll be the Hispanic guy in the hole saying, oh, is that him? He looks tall, sir. Does the hole need to be bigger? It's okay. Hole bigger, sir. It's okay. That episode from February 23rd, Dad Jokes, Projects, Pranks, Disturbed. It's also when my son went to a Disturbed concert, and...
Oh, they're coming back around.
Really?
They're 25 years of the sickness. That's the tour this year.
Ooh,
They're
that's
going to be in
exciting.
Philly in April.
That's exciting. Go check out that episode, though. You can see, you can hear, what that was before we were on video, but you can listen what we were joking with the Flea. You can hear that whole scenario. You can find out what happened to my son at the Disturbed concert that left Philly aghast, angry,
Your
shocked,
son deserves
speechless.
another slap from you.
Well, I definitely dealt him some that night. So if that makes you feel any better, justice was dealt swiftly on that one as soon as I found out. But no spoilers. You have to go check out the episode to find out what that was. But Ron and Stan Flea, both very excellent guests in that capacity, even though we had Ron, messing up the fucking challenge. But they were very good. Now, as far as guests that didn't quite, as we mentioned, sometimes we bring in guys that we're friends with, and we're like, man, you talk so much shit, or we talk all the time, you think you're great, and they get in here and they just kind of freeze up on us.
Yeah, and I think you and I were in the same boat for each one of our picks. That I think that we could just name both of them for both of us.
Yeah. And to be fair, I don't think either of them were bad guests as a whole, right? because both of them have been here twice.
Yes.
Right? So Rico, he stepped in for you one week when you weren't here. He was my co-host. We talked a lot of wrestling. He did a very admirable job with that. Very well done. I would run a wrestling podcast with him on the side anytime he wants to, and I've told him that. So he knows to hit me up anytime he gets the free time and wants to start that up. But I digress. When he was our guest, because as we mentioned, Ron was the first guest as a quote-unquote surprise unto me. The actual first guest was supposed to be Rico the week after. And Russ was trying to surprise me with that, which was well done, well thought out. It would have been hilarious.
I tried.
But, you can't account for bumblefingers over there, just messing everything up. So Rico is a guy that I've known. He's the how do I phrase this? He's the friend that I've known in real life, the longest of any friend that I keep in touch with, if that makes sense to you.
Yep. No, it does. Mine's Russ's friend.
So, and I know Rico, and Rico the entire time I've known him, which is since I was, 18. I mean, I've known the guy over 20 years. He says some off-the-wall things. He is genuinely hilarious and just a fucking joy to be around. He's a trip. I love Rico.
I miss some of the video game nights where he would get drunk and the shit that he would say while drunk and the weird sound effects and him screaming like a little girl when we play freaking Call of Duty.
Oh yeah, Rico is a Navy guy. He got deployed to Japan for a stretch, and when he came back, he would giggle like a Japanese girl for some reason. The strangest thing. Anyway, we got him on, and we were in the midst of fantasy football with him and Ron playing each other. And Ron, the week before, we had given the opportunity to try to smack talk Rico before Rico came on, and we were very underwhelmed with what Ron presented. It was not up to par. And the two of them usually go back and forth extensively during fantasy football.
And I fully expected Rico to just unleash the Rico side that I'm used to. However,
it was this long, drawn-out story that went absolutely nowhere, and I had to edit down.
with almost no profanity.
It was clean and made no sense. And
he is typically like dark humor rants, making fun of you, whatever.
Rico's your friend that regularly gets banned on social media for posting things. Yeah, it was awful. It was very disappointing. Rico's the guy that usually gets banned on social media for posting things, and he just did not bring the sauce in any way, shape, or form that night. So it was shocking to say the least.
It was.
Least. But,
however, the other one that was again not a bad guest, just things didn't run as smoothly as we had hoped.
Right, my brother-in-law Saint.
Yes, and we love Saint. Like he's one of our boys. We still play at least twice a week with him, as long as we're lucky. And he's allowed out to play video games those 2 nights.
Sure.
And I mean, I miss some of the nights I used to have because back in the day there was nights where him and I got on. It was just him and I, and he's great. He can talk some shit here and there. He's not over the top like Ron and Rico or anything like that, but he can dabble.
Sure.
But. And the way he interacts with you and I, we're like, oh, this would be great. We all make fun of each other, great chemistry.
Yeah.
Everything from our video game experience for the last couple of decades.
And to be fair, the first time he was on, it really was. Right? But then we said, okay, we're doing a 420 episode, and he is...
Which is his realm of everything.
Yes, sir. I lay my claim to that, but he's, He's the
king when it comes to that.
He's the grandfather of it all. So sure. We thought, man, he's the perfect one to have on for that. And
and this is where you play a cricket soundtrack or a
it was really kind of a no-show. And it is what it is. It was a very short. I think it might be the shortest episode we've ever done.
Was it really?
Yeah, it's pretty short. Like it's like a 44.
Well, yeah, because
we kept trying to 44-minute episode.
We kept trying to pull information from the guy.
Yeah, he was more interested in getting on to play games, which, to be fair, depending on how your day of work goes, I understand that.
100%.
So they're hit and miss sometimes, and I think it's probably best not to go back to the well too many times with some guys and everything like that, depending on what their schedules are and whether they actually have time to get in and do it and all. But
I think
he
we
definitely
do need
the first time was
fantastic.
fantastic, and when he was on for the draft, and then when they were both on for the draft episode, which we didn't actually post because it was a mess for Spotify, it would not have played very well. It was a lot of fun to watch on stream if you checked us out on Twitch, but for that episode, they were both very involved and a lot of fun. Not like our league champ Foofy, who was a complete waste of showing up for the 30 seconds that he did with 5 kids screaming in the background to be like, "Hey, I got a bunch of people over here." We're like, "Yeah, okay, mute yourself," and he left.
Peace.
Yeah, that was yeah. So now
Go ahead.
You mentioned your one of your favorite segments earlier, right? Was
I did.
me and Flea talking about burying his boyfriend's daughter, backhoe, digging a hole, all that scenario. So for me, one of my favorites is something you got to go way back for into the fucking early days of the podcast, and it's actually the title of it is Mexican Food is the beginning of the episode, because there was a point where it baffled me. As long as we've known each other, and I am Puerto Rican, I love my Hispanic food. I worked at Taco Bell forever. I make Mexican food at least 1.5 times a week, I'd say. I had to break down and explain Mexican food to you in a way that I didn't think I would have to.
And to be fair, I probably don't remember half of what you explained to me.
No, I remember. I think you compared an empanada to a pierogi, and that was
right, because I'm Polish.
That was about the point where I was like, I'm fucking done with you. I can't comprehend what's going on anymore in my head.
Yep, sounds about right.
That's one of the early. That's like episode 4. You realize that? I didn't
Shit,
realize
man,
how.
oh my god,
That is episode 4.
Damn.
Did not realize how early that was. That is still one of my favorite.
That's a good fucking segment.
Pieces and segments we've ever done.
Yeah.
Because that
made me look like a jackass, but it's a good fucking segment.
It's fucking hilarious, though. I mean, it truly is. I mean.
Yep.
I would love to go back and replay some of these now that we're on video.
I agree.
It's funny.
We should at some point in time have an episode where we not the whole episode, maybe have a segment where we play some funny clips and just watch our own reaction.
It's an interesting one.
If you think about it, sitcoms do it, where they do the time travel on the sitcoms. So
that's very true. It's very true. Very true. I like it. All right, so
well, I see the writing in the notepad.
That's one of my. No, yeah, right. Now I'm getting back to my notes actually. So that's one of my favorite segments that we've had right now, and that's me, explain something to you. So that's me providing my knowledge in a way that was funny, and I've done that quite often through the podcast. But I've also done it in ways that have not panned out as well as I thought they would. If you go back to last year's NBA trade deadline, I was actually. Go ahead. Keep chuckling.
Nope.
I hear you.
Nope.
I was actually pretty critical of the Dallas Mavericks moves at the deadline last year because of the way they would affect the future. And I did not realize that P.J. Washington had that dog in him.
Yeah, how'd the Mavericks do after
that? They only made the finals.
I mean,
And then Klay Thompson had to leave Golden State and ditching LeBron James to come to Dallas. That's all. Yeah, I was dead wrong on that.
You were saying?
One of my finest moments. Well, it's not one of my finest moments. All right. It's not a great moment. I'm not hanging my hat on that one.
No.
All right.
No.
So,
we all got moments like that.
We do. We do. We definitely missed some of the MLB calls when we tried to make them before the season. We didn't make a whole lot
good,
with the
though.
NFL.
I think
we
were like
weren't
2/3, 3/4 or something like that.
We weren't too bad on that.
No.
If I had to point to my most, the thing that I regret the most or the most embarrassing thing I've done on the podcast, I think it would be the way I reacted to the Mavericks trade deadline, just given I'm such a fan and I enjoyed their run to the finals so much. And P.J. Washington and Daniel Gafford turned out to be so fucking good.
Yep.
That I was so wrong, I was happy to be wrong. But
That's a good thing, though.
It's probably my moment of shame.
Yep.
What would
yep.
be your moment of shame, sir?
I can either confirm or deny.
Hey, you want to have another drink?
I mean, do I want to have another drink? Oh, we had a moment with myself. Now we is me. It was after a hockey night, and I had a bunch of drinks with the hockey guys prior to making it back just in time for the podcast. The time to just right, and I don't know how many beers I had at the rink. We'll just say it was a 6-pack. And the normal is for me to come here. I pour my nice tall big glass of, as he liked to say, get some stock in Captain. Captain and Ginger is usually my go-to these days. And I just continued to drink. And it just, I mean, think about it. I played 2 hockey games, didn't eat a damn thing, and I had a 6-pack and then a very tall glass of, and so I don't know if you even know this, this is always 100 proof.
I do know that. We've talked about that.
So
you and Chaos drink the same thing, 100 proof Captain Morgan. Shout out to Chaos.
So you go from a 6-pack to God knows how many shots. I never counted how many shots I put in here, and it became a convoluted shit show. And the biggest claim to fame was
wait. I got a treat for you.
Oh, wait. Okay.
Turn on the stream and listen. I do have this one. Here was the moment that I knew he had gone too far.
Oh, you're gonna play what I was gonna say, damn it.
Oh yeah.
I really do like Spider-Man.
Whoa. What did that do?
Did you do it?
No, never mind. That's doing something different. Oh, I thought I had it.
Fail!
It's the wrong. Okay, I didn't make it.
Fail!
Yep. Go ahead. Ouch.
And you got to remind me because I, in fact, was drunk, so hopefully I have this quote correct. But I don't have a problem with Spider-Man, but let me tell you what my problem with Spider-Man is.
Yeah. We were talking about the Spider-Man 2 game that was on PlayStation and speculating on DLC that I had seen leaked, which, ironically, side note, I don't know if it because of that leak, all canceled. There is no DLC for that game.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, we were talking about that, and you literally go, I like Spider. I don't have a problem with Spider-Man, right? Like I don't. Okay. So here's my problem. And I said, so I don't have a problem with Spider-Man. Here's my problem with Spider-Man, and you said, fair.
Yup.
I wish you would have heard that clip. I would have to send it to you, actually. But yeah, he was. That was the night we invented the rule: we don't start drinking before we record.
Yes.
That is now the rule. We drink heavily after recording starts, but not prior to.
I still have some, but anyway. Not as much. That was the warning sign of, hey Russ, stop fucking up. But yeah, that was my downfall. That can be paired with the clip of video gaming with me hiding in the corner. Same kind of concept. However, that was my start at working on edibles and finding the right balance, and that was not a good night.
Happy Thanksgiving.
That again, the
Happy
only thing I remember saying and planning to say was that. Everything else.
Yeah. I still beg to differ. The clip says otherwise. But,
get the fuck out of here.
We're not going there. That one you have to go to my Instagram, Pastor Prime 25, and check that one out. That's way back in the archives. But so, I think the only other major segment of note that we would bring up at all is one that we clipped recently, and it's just mainly because, frankly, you found it hilarious, and I love it.
Oh, I did. It was one of my funniest moments with you. I mean,
it involved my son. Yeah.
For those who don't know, Dan's son still works at Taco Bell, right? And
no, not at all.
Oh no?
No.
Oh, where's he at?
Well,
I thought he was still there.
Nah, he went to Crumble. Now he's at Long John Silver's.
I don't think you ever told me that.
Yeah, he's gone to a few. Yeah, he's.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry. Another topic for another day.
It's a whole other story that we'll get into with you and the other 20 people watching us right now. Welcome in, everybody. We're in here. I'm drinking some salted caramel whiskey. He's drinking some Captain Morgan. What's everybody else drinking, smoking on tonight?
Oh, please tell us.
No.
So his son comes home from work, and I forget the exact transition between you and him, but it led to a father-son moment. It's like, oh, really? You want me to show you? And you watch him drop the headset, run off like he's going to, I'm sure he didn't really do much of anything.
He flipped
but
me
like
off.
he was going to beat the crap out of his son in a sense.
Yeah, right.
It's off camera, so nothing's proven. Anyway, and all of a sudden you just see him just flop back into the chair like Danny threw him or something.
Glasses aren't even on my head. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
I
find
they played the
that's
fatality sound to it.
We should have
which
like
he
our own
requested.
like middle-aged high GIF and just make that like the you fall in it in your chair thing.
Right. Ooh, Captain Taboo's on a Skywalker OG Kush cart bed. This one I keep. Where do I go? This one I keep.
I have
here's,
not a goddamn clue what that means. I'm
Is it y'all
assuming it's
cracking
some
me up
sort
over
of
here while I'm
strain or
working?
something.
It's a strain, yeah. The cart
Okay,
is
alright.
a cart is a. This is a cart, cartridge.
Is that
It's
a vape?
Yeah. So
Oh, okay.
Skywalker OG Kush vape
Why is it called a cart versus a vape?
cartridge. Well, okay. Well,
So
this
it's
is
just
a
one
this
and
is a
the same?
disposable vape. A cartridge is one of the ones that goes into a battery. Like this is a disposable. I smoke this, and when it's out, I throw it away.
Is it
Some
cheaper
people-
that way?
Not really. I don't know. Some people like it better because if you get
Okay.
the fancier
I'm
ones,
just
you can
wondering what's the
control-
difference.
Well, look, if you get the fancier batteries, you can control the heat levels, and then it's a whole thing. Look, this
Got
guy,
it!
Captain Dabu. Look, I've been
Sorry.
smoking since I was 18, right? And I'm 41 now. I'm a cannabis guy. He has been taking gummies for like 6 months.
No, we're up to about a year to 18 at this point.
Really?
Well, think about it. I was doing it before we did the podcast.
That's true. Oh my God. Time, old, age.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. It's
It's
a
a whole thing. You got that right. Yeah. So I mean, and to be fair, I'm still
The 420
dabbling and
family.
figuring things out and everything like that. I mean, for those who don't know, I'm not about the whole like I don't want to or need to be high on a morning, daily basis thing. It's merely to get my ADHD brain to shut the hell off so I can sleep.
He's trying to medicate, not.
And I've gotten to a point
Trying to
where
medicate, not
I
hallucinate.
need something to shut me down, and
Amen.
and this is where I'm at.
Amen. That's why he takes the gummies. That's why if you ever do smoke or do carts or anything like that, there's certain strains that'll help you out with that stuff. And if you ever do, God knows, ask me. We'll help you get figured out and set up. But
Heard.
that's one of the things you find out when you're a kid. You're like, man, it's just grass. Just let me smoke and get high.
Yeah.
You realize it actually does, and you learn about the strains and all that, and they actually do different things. It's a whole. It's
Yep.
a whole thing. But I'm glad we're cracking you up, man. That's what we aim to do, sir. These are all. This is all stuff we've done on the podcast in the past year too. It's all. That's all past episode stuff.
Year
man.
2, funnier.
Year 2, funnier. Wow. Oh, I can't say that. I was gonna say funnier and fatter. I'm down to
Well,
197.
maybe me.
I'm down to 197. So
You got me beat now for once.
Do I really?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the gummies that I take at the end of the night. I gotta start figuring out how to adjust myself with that. I've gotten this close to be like, I'm just gonna start intermittent fasting and just eat after I have the gummy. That way, I just eat everything after the gummy and not eat the rest of the day.
Heard that. I had somebody ask me the other day how I lost so much weight. I said it's very simple. I have an autistic 7-year-old. I never finish my own plate.
Yeah. Heard there.
Oh, kidding. Well, hey, Captain Dabo, I'm glad you're here now, and I hope you stick around and come with us several more
appreciate it.
times, man. Absolutely, brother. Abso-fucking-lutely. But that's enough reminiscing. That's enough of the old stuff. It's time to get to the new stuff, and it's time to get on to what we do and what we love to do. Are you ready to do the fucking challenge, sir?
Oh, let's fucking go, bitch.
Oh, I half want to go rip the bong, but we're just going to do the fucking challenge. What do you think, green or
Let's
red,
fucking
sir?
do it.
I'll let you pick. Green or red? What do you want?
Oh, red.
Red it is. Fucking challenge, baby. Let's go.
It's time for the Fuck 'em Challenge!
It went green. Oh, there it goes. Never
It
mind.
most certainly did not.
I forgot the original logo was green.
That's the Spotify logo.
Yeah.
Fuck 'em challenge, baby. Here we go. So, welcome in. If you don't know what the fuck 'em challenge is, I'm about to tell you, so pay attention. Each week on the podcast. Hey, man, I wasn't trying to be hard like that. Calm down, man. Damn. I'm just being hyped up. You trying to act like I'm being a dick? Calm down.
Well, you are a dick.
That's fair. That's fair. It's just my natural state. So, each week on the podcast, we either take a movie or a TV show, character, something of that nature, and we take 3 quotes apiece. We go back and forth, shot for shot, one at a time, see who gets it right. Sometimes we place bets, sometimes we don't. We have nothing riding right now, although this man here had his fantasy football team named after me because I won the challenge we did on that. But
we are not going back to that, you fucking piece of shit.
Side note on that.
I did it, and he shouldn't have. No, never mind.
Side note on that. I played Rico this week, and me and Rico have the same bet going. Winner gets to name the other's team next week, just for 1 week. So
I like it.
Me and Rico having a little fun in our fantasy
I
football
hope Rico
matchup.
wins.
But we'll touch on fantasy football just for a second after we get done with the Fuck 'em Challenge, just to let you guys know where we're at. But the Fuck 'em Challenge, brought to you, as always, by the good people at Snapdragon Hemp, Snapdragon Cannabis Company. That code PYP420 gets you 15% off your order, shipped worldwide or picked up in stores in Georgia and Tennessee. And it also gets you a free 2-pack Delta 9 gummy with every order that you place now. Hell yeah. Gotta love it. So, you, sir, won the challenge last week, or I don't know, no, you won? Yeah, you did win last week. Right. And you picked...
So I decided the
Denzel.
quote, or I decided the genre and everything like that.
Denzel. 95 to 05, which is a very select... Is an interesting era.
I didn't know if some of the movies I was thinking of even fell in the decade I was thinking of. The one I was fell outside of it. So I wanted to have it different than 90s or early 2000s. It's like, all right, let's get a little bit of both.
Sure. Leave it to Russ. We got to do something more complicated and make life difficult for all of us.
Exactly. Let's have some fun with this shit.
Why the hell not? So, we are doing Denzel Washington on the Fuck 'em Challenge. And it is 95 to 05. I do believe since you won,
yes, sir.
You get the first quote. Correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, give me 1 second. I gotta actually load these up. Yeah, no, I wasn't quite as ready as I wanted to be, right? I forgot to put these in the right order, though. That's what it was. Hold on.
Sorry, mine are just sitting here on IMDb. I just scroll up. When I used to do the 3 news stories, I used to put everything on a doc sheet and everything like that. Now I don't have the news stories. I don't do that as much.
All right, here we go. You ready?
Let's do it.
Here's your first quote, sir. Again,
Uh-oh.
Denzel Washington, 95 to 05.
Yeah.
Folks, see if you can play along. Guess with us, all right? No, she probably wanted me to be as fat as her. She wasn't that fat. Please, if a policeman saw your mama come walking down the street, he'd yell, "Break it up." Started with the funny one.
That's funny as shit, but
Fucking hilarious. Oh, man. Let's go.
I don't think I have a fucking clue.
So let me preface, though, ladies and gentlemen, those that don't know, when we do movies, we do give each other one yes or no question to ask each other. So there is that. I do want to say, though, that I don't have a list in front of me either.
You used to.
Sometimes I would have a list of movies in front of me. I do not have a list of movies in front of me right now. So this is...
God damn.
I'm not...
Yeah. Nope. I'm out.
No clue, no nothing.
Nope. I'm not going to waste our time.
All right. Hit me with your first quote, sir. Let's go.
All right. How do you like that cigar? It's good. It's your first? Yeah. Well, don't like it too much. They're more expensive than drugs.
Ooh. Interesting. Interesting. I'm wishing I had a list of movies in front of me now. Oh, well. I don't have a clue on that one. I know it eliminates a couple for me.
Ooh, okay.
But...
Would you like to share with the class what you think it eliminates?
Nope.
Ah, bitch.
I would not, just in case I'm completely fucking wrong.
It makes it more fun that way.
Oh, man. All right. You ready for your second quote then, sir?
Round 2.
It's okay if I look in the window just as long as I don't buy. Yeah? Well, don't go shopping with money in your pocket, and you better not be putting anything in the layaway plan either.
That sounds.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I feel like I know that. I really do.
It's possible. I mean, these are Denzel Washington movies that are like 20 years old. So, yeah, there's a good chance you've probably seen one of these fucking movies.
I might just throw it out there and just guess to see if I can try to win for once, because we've had so many ties over the last few fucking weeks.
We really
Lots of different reasons we won't go back into. I'm just going to take a stab in the absolute dark.
Disney movies. Yeah, that was a mistake. Yeah, all right, go ahead, man.
The way it sounds to me, it sounds like Preacher's Wife.
Well done. Well done.
I pictured the second one slightly. I'm like, I was not 100%, but I was okay. All right.
Well done. So your third quote was going to be, and again, our third. We try to ramp them up as it goes along. Try to increase the obviousness. The third quote is supposed to be more of a giveaway. Fuck you, man. All the fucked up.
Let's increase the volume.
Let's increase all the fucking shit. Fuck you, man.
That's a clip.
All right. Oh my god.
Oh, shit.
All right. Just because you can't see the air doesn't keep you from breathing, and just because you can't see God doesn't keep you from believing. That would have been your giveaway quote. So.
I don't know if I have a good, strong giveaway on this one, to be honest. I tried to put it in there a little bit.
All right.
But I don't know. We'll find out. Again, if you've seen this movie, you would know it.
There's a good chance you're winning because I had no idea of your first one. So.
Okay, that's cool.
Hit me.
So I have two here. Which one was my second? Which one was my third? I think this is my first. Or my second, excuse me. In my humble opinion, in the nuclear world, the true enemy is war itself.
I need a list in front of me, damn it.
I
I feel like I know this. I just can't. Shit. I came ill prepared for this challenge.
Came to war with and was ill-equipped.
Yeah, right. I was busy setting up so many other things. Oh well. Spinning my wheels and doing nothing all day. I don't have it.
You can do a yes, no. You can do a guess for. It doesn't matter because even if you're wrong, you still lose anyway.
No, I don't. I don't have it. I straight up don't have it. Just go ahead and hit me with the third one. See if I can guess it at all.
God help you if you're wrong. If I'm wrong, then we're at war. God help us all.
Damn. Take it easy, Captain Dabu. Fuck. I don't know, man. Hit me. What is it?
Crimson Tide.
I can picture. I know it's red.
I love that movie. I really do. I've watched a lot. It comes on TNT and TBS and stuff like that. And
if I was looking
I really enjoy that movie.
A list of movies, I think I would. I think I might have tied you on that.
Well, once I start talking about war and stuff like that, yeah. I mean, that's why it's kind of a little bit more of a giveaway.
Yeah. I mean, if I'd have been looking at a list of movies, I think I might have had that one. That was good though. That was good. All right. Well done, sir. Well done. So you won. So as is your right.
Yeah, there's no other war movie in that decade. Sorry.
No, I would have tied you if I would have been looking at the list, but I didn't have a list prepared, so that's on me. So you win. So as is your right, sir. What would you like the challenge to be based upon next week?
That's a good question because I did not come prepared for a person. So
would you like to use the one I had prepared?
No, fuck you.
Okay, good. I didn't have one prepared either.
We are gonna go with Nicolas Cage.
Oh, one of the goats.
Let's do it.
Damn. Okay, what era? Because Nick Cage has been alive forever, like the immortal Nick Cage.
I don't have a list in front of me. I have nothing to go off of. I'm gonna make it difficult again, just to pick some random numbers.
Oh my God, just pick a decade.
Oh, come on.
It's so much easier to
find.
All right, fine.
2000, 2010.
2000 to 2010, Nicolas Cage. Okay. Sounds good. It's just easier that way, man. I do so much other work for this shit. Stop making it more difficult.
I got you. I just like to make it a little different from time to time.
I get it.
Because like because I suck at 80s. Like if you're gonna ever say 80s, I'm losing. Like I'm not even gonna question the outcome of that event.
Sure. I get that. I get that.
So we kind of stick ourselves in the 90s and 2000s. So that's why every now and again it's good to just be like, let's choose this kind of a, whatever.
I'd rather do the 80s.
I got you. I got you.
Whatever.
I did 95 to 05, so I'll go back to a decade for you. We'll keep it simple for you, old man.
I appreciate that. So, Nicolas Cage, 2010, next week on the Fuck 'em Challenge. Excited about that. Fuck 'em Challenge, like we said, brought to you by Snapdragon Cannabis Company, Snapdragon Hemp, depending on which one you want to call it. They go by both names, whatever makes it more easy to get by legally. But, that being said, since we are a year into this podcast, we would be remiss if we did not do a giveaway to celebrate that. So, tomorrow morning, I will go ahead and make a post on Twitter. And it will be very simple like we did last time. It'll go on Twitter. It'll go on Instagram. It'll go on wherever else he wants to put it. All you'll have to do is retweet it, tag a few friends, try to share the podcast out there for us. And all we ask of you is to do that. We'll run it through the weekend. And the winner will get a pack of Knockers gummies, 20 milligrams apiece, and a 200 milligram Dutch apple pie cereal treat, and a gram of Snapdragon cannabis flower.
And a signed picture of Dan holding the gummies right here.
I can't give that one out for free.
My agent has advised me otherwise.
Can't do it. Can't give that one out for free. But we'll be giving that away starting tomorrow, running through the weekend, drawing the name on Monday. So get in on that. It's free. Anywhere in the U.S. U.S. only. Anybody outside of that, I can't ship anything to you, but we will be posting it, so pay attention to that. Pastor Prime 25 on Twitter. It's right down here.
Right here.
Follow me if you're not. So, we've got that going on. We've also got, more exciting for me, Mavericks tip-off tomorrow. But your Flyers, they've already started.
First game, or is it the home opener?
First game of the year. They are, I believe they're in San Antonio. I got to verify that, actually. That's a good question.
Boo. Bad sports fan.
Hey, I'm pretty positive they're in San Antonio. Nope, they're in Dallas. They're in Dallas. It's the home opener, too. Yeah.
Need the record scratcher.
Yeah, right. How about, well, that's, again, kids... podcast.
No, trust me, I get it.
The other, I knew they played. I didn't know where. I mean, it's not like I'm going to the game.
I could probably count on two. I mean, think about it. The Philly season, 162 games minus playoffs. I could probably count on two hands how many games I actually watched this year.
I might go rip the ball real quick. What do you mean?
I just wanted to keep talking.
I mean, we can't keep talking. That's the whole idea of what I did earlier.
I'm hungry. I want to go get food.
He said, "I'm hungry. I want to go get food." Get the fuck out of here.
No, if you told me to get out of here, I'm going to go get food.
Jesus, you freaking schmuck. I mean, if you want to go grab a snack real quick.
No, let's go. Get your shit done. Let's go.
Jesus Christ, you act like it's a big deal.
Oh, it's a huge deal. It's huge. Whoa. I don't think that's what the people wanted. It's funny watching both angles with you struggling with the headphone. I can't hear you, by the way. You fucked everything up! Oh no, we suck again!
All right, that didn't make any sense. Anyway.
Yep, you suck
Fuck
again.
you. Wasn't fun when we were doing it before. So the Flyers have already started. I take it they're not starting off very well, huh?
So I don't even know if we got into that. I mean, a little bit of a misconception of what we were covering because you started talking about the Mavs, by the way. We never got
Well, I
into
said they're
that.
getting ready to start tomorrow, but the Flyers have already started.
Yeah, they have already started.
I've been
And
rambling
so
for a little bit, so I was trying to pass the mic to you.
Yeah, I got you. Yes, the Flyers have already started. And they did start on a 4-game West Coast trip that went actually halfway decent. And I was like, okay, we're looking all right. And I was in the preseason. Last year, I predicted exactly what I thought the Flyers were going to be.
Right.
I thought they were going to compete at some point in time, give us a little bit of hope, and then just miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
And to be fair, like going into the start of March, I think is what it was, and I'd have to be fact checked on this. The Flyers were in a playoff spot, and then they had about a 10-game losing streak
They dropped
in
out.
March. It just knocked them the hell out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was very disappointed, obviously.
Sure,
but,
because they gave you just enough hope to drop the bottom.
Yeah. However, I predicted where they were going to be successfully.
Right.
Now, coming into this season, they finally got the rookie sensation they were looking to get. And there was a struggle because he's a Russian-born player, and obviously Russia right now, and USA, and blah blah blah. And so it was a little bit of a challenge to get him here. It's one of the few sports you have to think about and worry about logistics when it comes to your personnel.
Sure.
Because it's not just 95 to 99% of the league is from the USA. No, that's not the case in hockey.
Right.
And so there was a struggle, and all of a sudden it was just like, yes, he's coming, and like everybody just lit up. Like, this is what we needed. This guy is being compared to Ovechkin and Malkin as far as Russian players are concerned. And I know you're not a big hockey guy, but even you know who those names are. Now, you're still a rookie and a prospect and all that until you make it.
Absolutely.
And you can say that in any sport.
Any sport is what have you done for me lately.
And even on this West Coast trip, I think it was the second or third game, I forget which, he had a 2-goal game. That's his first, debut scoring. I don't know what happened in the game behind me. I know they lost and they sucked ass again tonight, but he hasn't scored since. And I went to the Flyers home opener this past Saturday, like I always do. I always go to every Phillies home opener and every Flyers home opener. It may have been one of the worst openers I'd ever seen. One of the top two. There was a game there where the Flyers a few years back literally got schooled. I think they let up 8 goals, but they couldn't pass, they couldn't shoot, they couldn't defend. The only thing that stood out is they had a goalie. The goalie was awesome. They couldn't do shit, and now I'm sitting here going, I thought they were kind of something, that they might have been a 7th or 8th seed in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And now I'm sitting here going, they don't really look like they could be a 7th. So I'm kind of crossing the middle. So I think where I'm going to go with my prediction for the Flyers, it's 8th seed or they're out. They're not going to be any higher than that. That's where I'm going to go. They're going to limp in, or they're just going to go back to the drawing board again and get a high pick.
So you guys are right where you don't want to be. You're on the treadmill of mediocrity.
And that's where the Flyers have often stood, on the treadmill of mediocrity. And we've never gotten to the point of getting lots of top first overall picks. Now, we've gone through some processes and changed some personnel in the front office and have done very well the last few seasons as far as picks and trades and whatnot. But we've never been like, oh, we're just going to lose and get the first overall this year, get the second overall next year. No, we've never gotten to that point. We've always been this cusp of mediocrity.
Right. Understood. And it's a rough spot to be because you're not getting the draft picks to move on. Understood. And that's a rough spot to be because you're not getting the draft picks to move on, to move up. You're not making it very far in the playoffs. You're not winning enough games to really. It's just a painful existence as a fan. You all right there?
Yeah, that's fruit fly. Or gnat, or whatever the fuck these things are.
All right.
Sorry.
How about that? Welcome to the show, Fruit Fly. Anyway.
Fucking annoying fucking ADD problem, sorry.
So that's all you see them doing, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to be wrong and watch them succeed in the playoffs. I mean, do I think they could? Maybe. Are they a cup contender off the top? No. Not at all.
Did they make any moves this offseason to try to
Nothing.
nothing at all?
Nothing.
Wow. Okay. So they're just kind of
Their moves were adding their coveted rookies. That was their moves.
Sure. So there's a little bit of building for the future there at least.
Mm-hmm.
So that's at least you're moving in some direction there. So that's a positive.
Yes, that's the point.
I'm super excited for the Mavericks, man. At the fact that it's going to be in Dallas is just even more exciting for tomorrow. Not that I was, obviously I wasn't aware of that, but them playing San Antonio and Wemby, who's supposed to be the next big thing, this freakishly long, tall, 3-point shooting, ball handling. There's a unicorn like that every couple years now. Whether it's Kristaps or Anthony Davis or Wemby or Giannis or whoever, every now and again some of those people come out. He's going to be, right, thank you. He's going to be one of the next people to take over, but Luka, man, am I excited. Because not only do we have the guys that we traded for last year, the offseason was a little bit give and take for us, but I like where we came out on the end. We lost some pieces, but we gained some pieces that I think are going to be very beneficial. I mean, the defense may not be as good overall, but adding a guy like Klay Thompson and his flamethrower
You were
ability
super
to
excited
just
about
light
that.
up. My God, he's one of the Splash Brothers, bro. He's used to shooting with Steph Curry drawing attention. He's going to have Luka and Kyrie drawing attention. Like, he's a third wheel instead of a second. That's ideal for him at this stage in his career. Now, granted, I wish his defense was still where it used to be, and that's where it's going to struggle because he's replacing, he's replacing our defensive guys basically in the lineup. Is where he's at. So it's going to be interesting for him. We got Najee Marshall. He's going to be real good off the bench, and so is Grimes. So we have defensive pieces to move in and out. And Jason Kidd, coach of the Mavericks, was able to put together one of the best defenses in the league toward the end of the year after that trade deadline last year with Gafford and P.J. Washington and Derek Lively. That's really what we're hoping on is Lively stepping up, man. That kid's a rookie, and he played all the way to the finals last year. Never hit a wall. He's popping out corner threes in the finals that we never saw.
Hopefully, he doesn't have the sophomore slump and something like some people have in sports.
Right. Thank you. But the good thing about that is we traded for Daniel Gafford last year, so we have a center rotation. And then you have Dwight Powell, who's been there forever and will never go anywhere. He's the perfect third center, backup center that you have to use in spot situations. He's just a quality whatever. So we have a rotation of center where we're not going to depend on him, but a lot is going to depend on him being able to step up defensively and handle things and what we're looking at for that. But what's exciting for me is Luka. This is the year he wins MVP. Like he was close last year. He's putting up numbers. He won the scoring title last year. He finally made it to the finals. Now, he broke down. If you know what was going on, he was getting injections before games before the finals last year.
It's illegal.
So yeah, right. So he wore down and he broke down. But what's exciting is that he saw what it takes because he's won in the EuroLeague, but he's not done it here. So when you go to the finals and you lose, that's like, okay, you've seen it. You know what it takes to get there. You know what you have to do. You know what's expected of you. The last half of last year, he committed to defense. And this is a cliche, and they say it all the time, but this is the first time I've ever seen him come into a season, and it's like, damn, kid, you lost weight. Oh, he's ready to go.
Dude, I know that feeling all too well of making the promised land. And think about the 22 Phillies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not that it worked out well for you the next year.
I'm not going to go into that after that point because that's not the sport we're on right now.
Yeah, right.
Let's move on.
Historically, in any sport, runner-ups don't usually go on and just win it again the next year. There's growing pains that come with it and all that, and you expect
100%.
that. They're a team that has an interesting runway because Luka's a lot younger. Kyrie and Klay even are a lot, they're a little more advanced, not old at this point, but they're probably more on the way down than at their peak at this point. But we do have a lot of young players too that are on the way there too. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go in a few years because I voiced obviously last year as we covered, I don't love the way our draft picks look going into the future, but we did pick up some things this year and it's maybe I'm underestimating the front office, man. They're doing their thing. They're doing
I have
their
a question
thing,
for
I'm
you.
very excited about it. Yes, sir.
Because obviously I don't know a lot about basketball because I don't religiously watch. I'll see some things here and there. I talk to you. But the Sixers did get Paul George and a couple other things this offseason, which is pretty good for them.
Yeah, man.
Is there possible Sixers Dallas finals?
It's tough to pick against Boston. They're so stacked. I mean, when you're running out, your 10th guy can just run out there and start popping threes if you leave him open. It's like, Jesus Christ. It was tough in the finals, man. Like, it's tough to pick anybody else coming out of the East. And the Knicks got better because Karl Anthony Towns, who was with the Timberwolves, got traded to the Knicks in kind of a heist, let's be honest. So it's going to be tough to come out of the East for them. I don't think they have quite enough. I could be wrong. I don't love the bench, but we'll see.
Okay.
They'll make the playoffs, but I would say 5th seed-ish is where I would see them, 4th, 5th, maybe.
Okay. I'll call 3rd seed, just for shits and giggles. I don't know any better. I'm just doing it.
Sure, sounds good. Well, 3rd is where I see the Mavericks ended up. I mean, there's a lot that are going to be jostling at the top. It's like if they finish in the top 3, I'll be happy. So.
True. Now, I just throw out a shit guess because I don't know any better. Where the Mavericks are going to fall?
I just said, are you not?
Oh, sorry. I thought we were talking about. Never
Am I
mind.
on a stroke? I just said I think the Mavericks will finish 3rd because there's a lot of good teams there out in the West.
I heard
They can
something
finish
else in my
the top
mind. My
3.
apologies. Yeah,
That's where I'm. Jeez Christ! What the fuck?
No, you did. You did. I heard something else in my mind. My apologies.
Anyway,
yep, you're good.
Shane Bell. Pay
Boom.
attention, motherfucker. Oh man. So yeah, well that would be my hope. That's it. I don't see him finishing. I don't want him to finish in the top. I mean, that's save it for the playoffs to a degree. I mean, whatever. But yeah, I think it's
And how
like,
often does the 1 seed win? To be fair.
Yeah, well, if the 1 seed for me is a team that's at the top that's younger, like the Oklahoma City Thunder. They are a really good team, and they are a really young team. I see them.
Okay.
They'll probably finish closer to the top. Denver might be up there. You got them. We'll see where the rest of them pan out. But those are the 3 I see up at the top. So,
Yeah.
that's just me. I'm
I gotta
obviously biased.
We gotta get Maple on here or something. I gotta talk more hockey. You're able to go on for days for basketball by yourself, but I need somebody to talk hockey with for me to go on days sometimes.
I do what I can to ramble because I'm used to not having any, because I find it tough to talk. We don't have anybody to come here and talk basketball with us.
No.
God knows, anybody watching, listening, anything, if you want to come on the show and talk basketball, you think you can talk basketball with me, please, let's go. I could use somebody to actually talk basketball with. We know a couple people that'll talk hockey with this guy.
Yep.
We got to actually get him on the show. We don't know anybody that'll come here and talk basketball with me. So we're looking for somebody to come talk basketball with me a couple times a year. Let me know. We're down. Down to clown. Anytime.
What the fuck?
Yeah. You heard me. You heard me.
Oh, I heard you all right. I did.
Oh man. But that's where he sees, so he sees the Flyers 8th. I see the Mavericks 3rd. He sees the Sixers 3rd as a guess. I'll say the Flyers finish 5th.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would love it, but
I just picked the number. I just picked.
All right, I'm going to Vegas tomorrow.
Yeah,
Putting
right.
the bet down.
I'm telling you, I know nothing about hockey, so that is what it is, folks.
Hey, well, I'm just happy that you play hockey now because
Yeah, right.
the original days of UNC difficult for me.
Well, to be fair, not to cast whatever out there. I mean, I committed to hockey much more than you committed to trying to play basketball when we played basketball when it was free. So.
When the hell was that? I don't even remember it.
You don't remember? All you would do is pick Allen Iverson.
It sounds like something I would do.
It is. Right. You fucking Philly bastard. Anyway, all right. So that's all we got for that, man. That's we're not going in depth breaking down the NBA and the NHL. That's we've learned throughout the year doing this. We stick to our wheelhouse. We'll talk about what we know and what we love. We're not trying to sound like experts because we're not. I love my Mavericks. I'll tell you what I love about my Mavs. He'll tell you what he loves and hates about his Flyers. Same with the Phillies and Cubs. Same with my Packers and his, nope, doesn't like anybody in the NFL.
Nope. Penn State. We'll go Penn State if we're going to talk some football.
Penn State, there you go.
They are ranked 3rd, actually, in the nation right now.
Hey, how about that? There you
Yes,
go.
sir. They got 2 big weeks coming playing. I know you're not a college guy. We've
Not at all.
talked about that before.
Right.
But Penn State does have some big next 2 weekends in a row. They play Wisconsin and then Ohio State, who's right below them in a sense.
Awesome.
So the next 2 weekends will kind of dictate what kind of a team Penn State is. And, I mean, we have some people we've talked some college football with before and who are some fans of certain teams. And Michigan still sucks. But Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
that's funny.
it's controversial in my opinion with college football. The way they've done things in the past, the way they handle certain payouts with players and stuff like that, and that's for another day. If you want to get back to it, I don't know if Penn State is actually worth the 3 seed right now.
Really?
Again, I know you have no clue as to what I'm
Sure.
going on here, but um, I don't think they've had the schedule to put them there. They've had a couple of good wins, sure. They don't have the schedule. Um, I don't think they have the personnel as some of these other teams as well. And in my opinion, I think some of the teams who are below Penn State should be ranked above Penn State. My biggest, not gripe, that's the wrong word. I'll change that. I'm actually happy this year because we're finally, for the first time ever in college football, going to have a 16-team playoff for the first time. It's been 4 teams for the past few years.
Right.
And if it was 16, Penn State would have made the last 5. There was even a couple of years that they should have been the 4 seed and actually were left out of the playoffs. So I'm happy about that. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I'm happy they got 3 seed. If they win a couple games here and they look better than I think they are, even better. But they're going to make the playoffs. I just don't see them being national champions over people like Georgia
Well, making
and
the playoffs
others.
is a big deal because it's only.
It is.
I mean, only so many teams. Only a very few teams at all the goddamn colleges make the
You
playoffs.
think about how many
so-
college teams are actually in college
Yeah.
football.
That's a big deal.
And
That's
it
something
used to be
stick out,
just
man.
4,
Yeah,
and now it's going to
6.
16.
16?
Yeah.
Oh, they really are going to 16. Wow.
They are. This is the first year of it.
Wow. Well,
And I'm intrigued because you think about it, because it's college kids. And now they're going to have to play an extra 4 games if they make it all the way to the ship. That's something that's not been done before. So that's an interesting concept.
wow. How about that? Should be an interesting season to pay attention to then. How about
Yeah.
that? Welcome in down there, Water. I'm not trying to pronounce the last end of that. No get enemy? All right, sure. Welcome in, buddy. How'd you find us? Glad you're here. Welcome in. We're coming up on the tail end of the podcast here,
Yeah.
but we appreciate you. So, Penn
We're on
State.
Spotify. Come look us up.
Yeah, man. It'll be posted on Spotify here probably Friday. The full on episode, but we do these every Wednesday. So that's where we're at with that. That's where we're thinking with the sports that we got going on right now. So we're wrapping up toward the end of the podcast, right? Means
We
it's
are.
time for the usual segments that we do, my wild work story and our dad jokes, and we're taking it back to the beginning for me right here, right? Because we're doing this segment because I have a long work history with a lot of wild stories. In trying to put them together, we found out that, man, it's just something I can continue to tell for a long time. So I thought it was a good idea to go ahead and start out with how I ended up getting into restaurant management in the first place. Because there's some wildness to those stories.
Ooh.
So we're not going to get into one of them because it involves family members that we're not going to discuss on the show.
Oh, I was kind of assuming it was a sex scandal to get you to the top.
Well, there was a sex scandal, but again, we're not talking about family members that are involved in the show.
Oh, we don't want to bring up family reunion things. Got it. My bad.
Yeah, anyway. Shit. So when I was 17 years old, I was a shift manager for Taco Bell. Not an assistant manager, not a general manager, just a shift manager. And
What the hell is a shift manager?
it's basically somebody who can run the shift for 8 hours and make sure everybody does everything they need to and do nothing else. No real paperwork, no real hiring, no real anything like that. Basically taking the young kids and giving them a little bit of responsibility.
Okay.
Basically saying, hey, lunch is over. We're going to leave you in charge of the store for 3 hours before dinner until somebody else gets back here to take over. That's what the shift
Don't
is.
fuck it up.
Basically, more or less, right? And the woman running the store, Patty, no last names, whatever. Although I'm not, whatever to put her.
You already gave the first name.
Yeah. She was running the place, and it was an interesting situation because my mother worked there as an assistant manager, and Patty was the general manager, and my father was actually the district manager. Yes, it's a whole family thing, right?
All in the family.
And I was living on my own. I was Oh, no, I was 18 then. Yeah, that's right. I was 18. I was 18 years old. I was living on my own. I was, whatever. I didn't give a shit. I was working all nights, closing every night, going out after, getting fucked up all night, sleeping all day, waking up, going to work.
Like we did back in the day.
Amen. And I'd done that, obviously, and I remember waking up to my father, who had called my phone. I can't tell you how many times to wake me up. And, what do you want? He said, I need you to get to the store. I said, why? He said, I just need you to be, I can't be there, so I need you to be there in case, So I drag my ass up, and I'm hungover and probably still high from last night and shit, and I drive up to the store, and I drive up, and I'm pulling into the parking lot, and I'm pulling in, and I look over to the left, and I see my manager sitting on one side of the table, and on the other side of the table is the head of HR, and sitting next to the head of HR is the police officer. At which point, me pulling in, I didn't have my glasses back then. I'm like, I'm good.
Yep.
Oh, shit.
Am I looking at this right?
Time to wake up. Something's happening. See, well, shit, Make sure I'm good. All right. Let me go in here and see what's going on.
Nothing's in my pockets.
Yeah, right? I don't have anything on me, right? Like, I'm good, because this is way back in the day. So I go, and I get out of the car, and I'm going to walk in. I'm like, shit, the hell's going on? I go to walk in, and as I'm going to walk in, they're walking out with her in handcuffs. And she walks out, and she looks at me, and she goes, well, I guess I'll see you later. And then she walks out, and me, I go, what's she talking about me? Why are you going to see me later? What'd I do? Why's she going to see me? I'm not going where she's going. Why's she going to see me later? Because we're not riding in the same vehicle. I'm not going, I just got here. I don't know what's going on. So, to make a long story short, we end up sitting down at the same table, the head of HR across from me, my mother, and a black lady named Joyce, who couldn't be trusted to place a fucking truck order without forgetting soda, lettuce, and taco shells. I did a lot of driving that week. Anyway. Jesus Christ, it's only Taco Bell. We end up sitting down at the table and her explaining to us what's going on and showing us the video that shows Patty at the end of the night closing down the register, and then she would stand there at the register, and all we would see on the camera is her standing there swiping. You had a manager's card. She would swipe the card, swipe the card, swipe the card, swipe the card. And I'm just like, the hell she's doing? And then she's like, this is what she was doing, and she goes, these are all the refunds she was ringing up at the end of the night. She was refunding like $300 worth of food at the end of the night, so that when she would take the drawer into the office where there were no cameras, she would come up like $300 over at the end of the night.
Wow.
Heroin's a hell of a drug.
I mean, it's a good attempt.
She'd been, dude, it's a good attempt. At that point, she had put them out $4,000. So a little more than a good attempt. She was living this life for a while.
She was working it.
Because it isn't like she closed more than she managed. She was the GM, and she was that GM, so she didn't close more than once or twice a week. So she was only getting a couple $100s a week like that.
Yeah.
So she was doing it for quite a while. Her and her husband had quite the heroin problem. Yeah, so freaked me the hell out. And she's like, I'll see you later. And I'm still like, because you know me, I was like, I smoke and all that shit. I'm just like, why she? I literally asked the head of HR. I was like, why'd she say she's gonna see me later? You know?
What did they tell you?
It's not whatever I was. She's like, I have no idea. I was like, okay, cool. Okay, cool.
I'm safe. I'm good. I'm all right.
I got 18 years old. I'm panicking. You know
Yeah. I can get that
but
one.
the funny part is that we're sitting there and she's telling us about all this, and she goes, obviously until we can find somebody, because we're in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, Maryland, right? She goes, until we can find somebody that's capable, we're gonna have to find somebody that's actually able to provide the time to actually run the store until then. And my mother and the other manager going and looking at me and me going, oh, huh? So, huh?
Wait, how about that guy, right?
Yeah, this was on a Tuesday. Tuesday's the end of the week there.
What a Tuesday.
I spent that night doing the end of the night inventory and paperwork and P&L, profit and loss statements and all this shit. Like this. Dad, help. How do I do this? He go, okay, call me back if you need anything else. I'll be like, okay.
Click.
Dad. Help. Until like 2 a.m. He's trying to explain profit and loss to me over the phone. And me on like no sleep. You know what I mean? Because we're trying to figure out schedules. We're trying to figure out this and that and the other. And it was a day. It was a fucking trip, dude. That's how I got into that's how I got into managing restaurants.
That's crazy.
And I ran that place like that. They hired 2 managers over the next whatever year. One of them was some fat shit who sat in the office for 2 weeks until they came in, figured it out, and fired him. The other one lasted 3 days, and his the lasting memory I have of him is him looking at a girl and going, "Hey, there's a penny on the floor. Yeah, do I get head for heads up?"
Seriously?
Yeah, that's an exact quote.
Oh my god.
So yeah, needless to say, I was able to get him fired real quick too. So I ran that place for years. That's how I got into restaurant management. That is my wild work story for you for this week, sir. That is how I got into restaurant management.
Good for you.
I mean, it is a true story. Oh, sorry, here's the kicker. My wife's younger sister has a baby with Patty's youngest son. So she's in my family tree.
I got nothing. I need more drink for that.
There is your wild work story, sir.
Jesus. That's the ending. I mean, it was a great story, but the ending hurt my brain.
Doesn't it? You can imagine my surprise years later when she's like, Cassie's dating whatever her last name, and I'm like,
Wait
sorry.
a minute.
Who? She goes, oh yeah, you remember? I was like, Ta loca, do I remember it? Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
So,
Ta loca.
yeah. There you go. That's my wild work story for the week. I figured it was good to go back to the beginning and tell you where it all started and came from.
Love it.
Shit. All right, man. So we're done. That's it. I don't think we can handle anymore. I think I just broke Russ's brain with that one.
Yeah, let me give you my dad joke at the end of the night. How about that?
Yes, sir. Hit me.
All right. Why did the husband buy his wife a deck of cards for their anniversary?
No idea.
Because she wanted something with lots of diamonds, and a deck of cards has plenty.
That man might be a genius.
That's one of my better ones, I gotta say.
So, given the job that we do here, if you call this a job, I would call us average potatoes. What do you call an average potato, sir?
Hash brown?
That, sir, is racist. No, we are...
But I'm not wrong.
But not wrong, sure. No, sir, we are commentators.
Oh, man.
And that is how we're going to go ahead and end the podcast.
Damn.
Goddamn. Well, we love it. We will be getting into something that we tried to get into a couple weeks ago, dad duties and how they've changed and all that over the years. I think dad psyche and mentality is something we're going to approach a lot more in the coming year than we did the past year.
The dad role is definitely different.
Absolutely. So got that to look forward to. We'll be touching on that next week as well as Nicolas Cage, 2000 to 2010 Fuck 'em Challenge. Pay attention to Twitter. Hit that giveaway. And have a good night, folks.
Thank you for a year, everybody. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to more. Peace.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.